The Steelers are secretly planning something huge as they look to bring in another defensive star that's going to bolster their secondary. My name is Peyton Kleppe, and on today's episode of Steelers Digest, we'll be breaking down the latest Pittsburgh Steelers reports and analysis regarding the Pittsburgh Steelers football team. As the Steelers look to add another cornerback to their defensive room, another name has been linked to their team. If you guys are not already currently subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button down below. We are trying to get to that 3,000 subscribers mark. The Steelers are reportedly interested in bringing in Jaylen Ramsey. This is a guy that obviously he's been a stud. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been an All-Pro. He's been a Pro Bowler. He's really done it all at the cornerback position. He is a guy that's going to talk, and I think he would be a perfect veteran and complement to a young guy like Joey Porter Jr. and as well as Darius Slay, another veteran who can only help these other guys in the cornerback room. But adding another All-Pro, Pro Bowler like Jaylen Ramsey to our defense just makes our defense even more stacked. If we do add him, it's really just kind of allow us to kind of move and choose which cornerbacks we want to play where. Obviously, Joey Porter Jr. is going to be on the field every play, every down if he's healthy. He's our long-term guy, but, a guy like Jaylen Ramsey is a guy that you can put on a wide receiver number one. He's going to lock him down. He's a guy that's going to be able to kind of play him wherever. I mean, he's an all-pro. He's a great player. He's a physical player, and he loves to get in his opponent's heads. So, bringing him to the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's going to help us fight up against the Bengals and their wide receiver duo that they locked down this offseason in Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and their quarterback with Joe Burrow. That offense looks scary, and they're starting to get a running game with Chase Brown. He's looking pretty good. And obviously we do have the Ravens in Baltimore with Lamar. They added D-Hop, which I hate, but, it looks good for them. So I think we're going to be facing some tough competition as per usual. This is probably one of the best divisions in football, if not the best division in football. I think really the only other division that's probably better is the NFC North. But anyways, bringing in a guy like Jaylen Ramsey is going to help us out. And, we look at the Ravens. We look at what they did. Let's copy their worksheet. Let's copy their test. They brought in Jair Alexander. Let's bring in Jaylen Ramsey. Jaylen Ramsey, he's definitely a better player than Jair Alexander at this point in his career. And, Jair Alexander, this dude's been injured every other year. He doesn't even look like the same player he once was. So, the Ravens, good for them, but we got what we got, and if we can score on Jaylen Ramsey, it would really look good for our Steelers team. And, signs are pointing in that direction, as obviously the Miami Dolphins and Jaylen Ramsey have been searching for a trade partner this whole offseason. Ramsey has definitely made it known he does not want to come back to Miami. He does not want to play for the Dolphins anymore. After last year when they kind of had a sucky season, he does not want to be back in town. And, the two sides have mutually agreed earlier in the offseason that, they want him out. And the Dolphins have waited until after June 1st just to help with that dead cap hit space. So, with less than a month until training camp, Ramsey may have hinted that he wants to play in Pittsburgh for next year. If we look at a tweet by John Frisella, not really focus on who he is, but more focus on who Jaylen Ramsey is following on Instagram. He's following big play Darius Slay, of course, another guy who we added in this offseason. Broderick Jones, I believe, down at the bottom. Dante Action Jackson, another guy who has played in Pittsburgh before. Obviously, he did move on to Los Angeles, but Jaylen Ramsey has also followed some other different players on Instagram from the Pittsburgh Steelers recently. I believe he did also follow Deshaun Elliott and a few other guys. So, obviously, Pittsburgh is a great city to play in. Always a great football city. Always a great defense, historic defense. We're getting better on offense. We got Aaron Rodgers. We got DK Metcalf. We're going to get a running game going. I believe in Caleb Johnson. I believe in Jaylen Warren. It's really just shoring up those last couple holes we do have on offense and defense, which I think Omar Khan's going to definitely address in these last couple weeks, right before the real preseason starts. So, bringing in a guy like Jaylen Ramsey, a guy who wants to play in Pittsburgh, he wants to contend for another Super Bowl. He wants to play for a defensive-minded head coach, a former secondary coach in Mike Tomlin. He's a guy that loves his cornerbacks, loves his veteran cornerbacks. He's definitely going to want a guy like Jaylen Ramsey. We look in the past, we look at all the moves that Coach Tomlin has done, adding veteran cornerbacks. We go all the way back to, I believe, 2016, 2017, bringing in Joe Hayden, a guy that was, he was counted out. The Browns cut him, and we brought him in. The dude had another few Pro Bowl years in him, So since then, we brought in other guys like, obviously, Pat Pete. We had him for a year. Dante Jackson had him for a year. He had a pretty good year. We bring in Darius Slay, and, all signs do look that we are definitely interested in Jaylen Ramsey, and we're definitely one of the teams talking to the Dolphins regarding this trade. But, if we do look back in the past, a few years ago, Jaylen Ramsey did play for the Los Angeles Rams, and I'm not sure if he did win a Super Bowl with them on that run. I think he might have. I think he was on that team with Stafford and Cooper Kupp when they did indeed win the Super Bowl. So, he's definitely got a ring. He's played in LA before. He knows Coach McVay. So, LA is another team to look out for. They are another team that could maybe swoop out from under us, send over some crazy draft pick compensation to get Jaylen Ramsey back, because they don't care about no draft picks in LA. But I don't know. We still have to wait and see. I still think we have a better chance than some other teams like the Chargers. I think the Chargers are probably going to wait out and re-sign Asante Samuel Jr. Obviously, he's still coming off a neck injury that he has to recover from. But he was a guy that got drafted by the Chargers, so why wouldn't you go back to the team that drafted you that obviously does like you, but they're probably just waiting out for him to recover from that full neck surgery that he did indeed have earlier this offseason. But, Jaylen Ramsey, he's a guy that we could bring in. He's going to be locked down on defense. He's already a veteran presence, which we need more of in our locker room to get back that Pittsburgh standard is the standard mentality. Start winning some playoffs games, because I don't know about you guys, but it's been a minute and I'm ready. We got Rodgers. We got big play Slay. We got some good draft picks. We got Will Had. Let's do it. Unfortunately, that's all I have for you guys tonight on Steelers Digest. If you guys are not already currently subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button down below. Thank you so much. Here we go, Steelers.